Hi, you guys. Wondering what to do with all that zucchini that has totally taken over your garden? Well, don't fear. I have one recipe at least for using one of those zucchini. I know you've probably got about 50, and that is gluten-free zucchini bread, which happens to be dairy-free as well if you just sub one ingredient in my flour blend. It's super simple to make and so moist and delicious. So let's get into it and I'll show you how to make it. This is so easy, you guys. You can do it in like 10 minutes. So we start with 1.5 cups plus 2 tablespoons or 227 grams of my gluten-free all-purpose flour blend, along with a half a cup or 100 grams each of brown sugar and granulated sugar, as well as 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 3/4 teaspoons of salt, a half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And we're just going to whisk these all to combine them. And like I said before, this is dairy free. If you substitute the dry milk powder in my all-purpose flour blend with coconut milk powder, and I'll leave a link for that below on where to find it on Amazon, it is just as good as the dry milk powder. So no worries there. Or if you don't need to be dairy free, you can just use the regular non-fat dry milk powder. So now I'm going to add in my zucchini. This is 1 cup, which is about one full medium shredded zucchini that I have not peeled, and I also have not squeezed the water out. That to me makes it more dry, and I like a really moist zucchini bread. I'm adding to that 2 eggs, and for some reason eggs have been giving me the hardest time cracking lately. I don't know what it is. I've been cracking eggs for my whole life nearly, and all of a sudden I can't crack eggs to save my life. Also, I'm adding in a half a cup or 120 milliliters of canola oil. You can also use vegetable oil or even melted coconut oil, as well as a 1/3 cup plus 1 tablespoon or 92 milliliters of water, and a splash or 1 teaspoon, give or take, vanilla extract. You know how I am about my vanilla extract. I just don't even bother to measure it. So now I'm taking a whisk and I'm just going to break up those eggs and whisk everything together. This is a very wet, runny batter, and that's also what makes it more moist than your typical quick bread. Quick breads normally aren't my absolute favorite, but let me tell you, this zucchini bread kind of blew me away when I first made it. I was really shocked at how moist and tender it was and how simple it is. I mean, this is done. This is done. So now I just put it in the pan and bake it. So this is an 8.5 by 4.5 inch loaf pan that I'm spraying with nonstick spray, and I'll line it with a sheet of parchment that overhangs slightly. I find this method to be the best for removing quick breads from the pan with no problems. So I've got the oven preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll just pour the batter right into the pan and bake it for 50 to 60 minutes or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. If you'd like, you can sprinkle it with a mixture of 1 tablespoon of sugar and a half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon before baking, which creates a little bit of a crunch on the top of the loaf. It is really good, y'all. So there you have it. There's at least one recipe to use up some of those zucchini. Double it or even triple it and freeze slices, or you can even make muffins and freeze them. You can even add chopped walnuts or pecans or even chocolate chips. I have all those instructions for every variation in the recipe on the blog. So easy, so moist and tender, so delicious. I hope you get a chance to make it. Enjoy!